All right, we are leaving Myrtle Beach at 6:30 in the morning, basically dawn. The main reason is we want to get out of here before boat traffic picks up. It is a Friday, and we also want to leave at low tide because we're going through the infamous rock pile today. And the rock pile is basically a very narrow stretch of the ICW through Myrtle Beach. It starts at Red Buoy number 20, right after Barefoot Landing, and it goes for a couple of miles, and it's very narrow, it's hard to pass, and if you hit anything, you're probably sunk because it's solid rock. So we're taking extra precaution this morning. We're coming here at low tide because low tide is when you can see all of the rocks sticking up, and staying in the channel. Cheers. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the voyage from Myrtle Beach at Grand Dunes, leaving in the morning, heading up the ICW towards Southport, one of our favorite stops. But getting there was a little bit tricky. I think I read too much on the internet that started making me nervous and freaking me out.
Well, and we heard from the ex-Coast Guard captain that we should watch out.
Our neighbor, she's talking about our neighbor at Georgetown in the marina.
He was telling us about the rock pile and, be careful, this and that. The good thing is, in that morning, it was a very smooth exit.
And again, I wanted to leave in the early morning from Myrtle Beach because I had heard that if you are in Myrtle Beach in the ICW in the middle of the day, like on a weekend or right next to the weekend, it can get really crazy. There's like hundreds of people on jet skis and boats whizzing around you, and it's just too stressful. So I'm like, let's leave at 6 in the morning. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here before people show up. And
nobody.
And I had heard horror stories about going through the rock pile. And for those who aren't familiar, the rock pile is this like that's like a 4-mile stretch of the ICW through Myrtle Beach that has like cliffs of rock jetting out on both sides.
Yeah, and until then, the ICW only had sand or mud.
Yeah.
As, underneath the water. We never had submerged rocks that we had to be careful of. Nor do we have a very thin...
And you're supposed to go single file through the rock pile because it gets pretty narrow at some point where there's only one boat through at a time. Otherwise, you're up on the rocks and tearing a hole in your hull. And I really did not want to go through that area of the ICW with rocks and narrow passages with 1,000 jet skis and boats like running around me.
All right, Kian, where are we? What are we doing?
We just passed Barefoot Landing and we are headed toward the rock pile.
Bum, bum, bum.
Alright, we're passing Red 20. It's the start of the rock pile. Locals say just go straight down the middle. Do not deviate. Do not go to the sides. Thankfully, we are not going through this in the middle of the afternoon on a Saturday.
Yeah.
We got to the rock pile. It was pretty quiet morning, which is good.
There were enough danger signs, and even online when we were reading, somebody was they were talking about calling another ship to tell them, hey, which side you want to pass us on, and that ship said, I don't care, I'm not moving. And so, we didn't want to have to do that, make a choice or have to stop or anything, but totally uneventful. First thing, in the morning, we made it.
Yeah.
No hole in the hull.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Rocks right there, sticking out of the water. For those who are not familiar, the rock pile going north, the rock pile basically starts at Barefoot Landing, and then it goes for a couple of miles, basically up until you get to a bridge, maybe 4 miles north of there.
It's like 152 or something.
Yeah,
right?
and once you're through there, you're kind of through the hardest part of North Myrtle Beach. And then beyond that, the ICW going to Southport was primarily back to like low country. A lot of, and you get into North Carolina.
Yeah.
Once you get into North Carolina, the ICW kind of turns into this Outer Banks type of
look to it.
Look at that. That is a private dock. That's crazy. Huge houses. Shrimping boats, shrimping fleets. That boat, 100% a hurricane loop. through that into the trees.
And we see a bridge. And we're like, that bridge is too low. What kind of bridge is this? We didn't realize that there was another swing bridge that we had to go through.
I planned the route and I didn't see this bridge on the route. I thought we were free and clear. I thought we got past Socasti Bridge. I thought we got past that, and I'm like, there's no more bridges for a while. I was wrong.
No.
It was what? Little River
Swing Bridge.
Little River
but
Swing Bridge.
But it was about 40 minutes away from Barefoot Landing.
Yeah.
And because we're still working, we had to get to Southport because we both had meetings for that day.
Yeah.
And so there we were approaching this bridge, realizing we cannot go under this bridge.
And then I called them, and I'm like,
it's like 8:30 in the morning.
I'm requesting an opening. Can you please open where...
Well, you called a couple of times.
Yeah. And someone finally responded from the bridge, and they said, we don't open until after the 9 a.m. rush hour. I'm like, oh, crap. So it was 8 in the morning.
Yeah, 8:30. So here we were. We're just sort of like floating, trying to figure out what to do. We're Googling to see how far the nearest marina is, because the nearest marina was on the other side of Little River Swing Bridge. And so we're looking. We start kind of turning back around.
So the bridge operator sees all of this.
They see our boat just circling around.
And I think she felt bad for us, because she's like, Captain, what's your length? Are you over 40 feet? And I'm like, yes, ma'am, I'm over 40 feet. I'm 47. And she's like, okay, stand by. And she opens the bridge in the middle of rush hour for us, because I guess there's some rule that if there's a 40-foot boat plus coming, that you can treat them differently. I don't know.
Or maybe she just felt sorry for this floating boat that just didn't know what we were doing. We're turning, going this way, turning around. She saved us. She
saved our bacon. We didn't have to drive slowly in circles for an hour. We got through that bridge.
It says open on signal except for 7 to 9, 4 to 6. Open on the hour and a half.
Little Swing Bridge, thank you much.
You're welcome, Captain. Have a great day.
Chalk that one up to just lucky, and I won't
people.
I won't make that same mistake again. We'll definitely take a look at the entire route the night before. So, ocean is right out there. Going by an inlet here. So before we go, we wanted to give you our individual tips from this segment of the journey. My individual tip is, I actually was thinking to myself, I'm gonna leave at a certain time of day, and we're gonna have high tide behind us, and it's gonna be pushing us up the river, and we're gonna have these 2 or 3 extra knots. And
no.
it doesn't work like that. You pass 500 inlets, and every single inlet you pass is pushing and pulling and producing a different tidal force on you.
Yeah.
So as much as I was we're gonna have 2 extra knots the whole way for 7 hours, we're gonna be going faster. No, look where your inlets are. And if you have inlets from the ocean the whole way up, then you might as well just give up and just go. It's not going to matter, because some of them are going to be pulling on you, some of them are going to be pushing on you. It just really depends where you are and what time it is.
And it varied our expected arrival by like an hour and a half sometimes.
We did get there later than I had planned.
Yeah. I would say mine would be make sure all your lines are ready on both the port side and the starboard side. There's so many times where we called and the dock would say, you know, come in stern first, you know, you tie up on your starboard, or bow in, you'd be on your starboard, or we'd be on the, if we're on the T head, you know, they'll just say you're on the T head in front of the Silverton or in front of the Fleming, whatever. And a lot of times they'll tell us the current, which way the current's hitting.
Yeah.
But it just depends on which way you're entering. Come up south, it's one direction, right? North, a different direction. And so there's plenty of times where, you know, we're set, we're ready to, let's say I'm set, we're ready to dock on the starboard side. So we're all ready, lines are at the ready, and at the last minute, Kian decides that he's gonna approach a different angle. So I'm gonna flip and go to the port side. So instead of having to then start untying there or moving lines, all the lines are already ready. I just have to throw out, I just have to move physically to the other side of the boat to make sure that I could throw the lines. But also with that, you know, you need to know which lines are the longer lines, which ones are the shorter lines, because depending on where the cleats are, you may need a longer spring line or a shorter spring line. So you have to know also the length of your lines on each one of the cleats that are out there. Little details, but they make a big difference when you have to dock, or we're throwing the line to somebody, to a dockhand, and we're still far away. So the longer the line, the better, because you can just, you know, chuck it over there. Shorter the line, it's not going to get there. You're going to pull it up again, and then, you know. And I never had to do that though.
So those are our tips for this segment of our voyage. Until then, happy boating, safe boating.
Cheers.
We'll see you at the next episode.